Welcome aboard, folks. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country. Oh, welcome aboard. I think that's fitting for the song request here. Montauk Ed made a gift to the channel, so Ed, shout out to you. Thank you, my friend. Ed's down in North Carolina, which is where Grandfather Mountain is. My stepbrother has a place down there, so I go visit him every so often. But Bruce Moss's The Legend of the Bluenose. And from what I could tell, the Bluenose looked like a sailboat, because when I grabbed the song to react to off of YouTube, the picture was of a three-masted schooner, or whatever you call those things, a big thingy. And let's see, Ed requested this in honor of the Canadian participants on the channel, hence the hat, courtesy of Terry Wood. And Montauk Ed sent me that box and the watch clock that he made, because he's a master woodworker. In addition, he was former commercial fisherman off the coast of Long Island, out in Montauk, as you might have guessed from his screen name. So let's see. I don't know if I've done anything by Bruce before, but The Legend of the Bluenose. I know, aren't there like Bluenose dolphins? But maybe that's just the name of the ship. We're going to find out. The sailboat. And I don't know where Bruce is from.
She was built by Smith and Rowland men in 1921. From the county of Lunenburg she came, designed by William Ruey, a legend she'd become. And to everyone who knew her, the Bluenose was her name.
Alright.
With Angus Walters at the wheel, each summer she would sail to fish upon the banks of Newfoundland. And when her holes were full of cod, to Lunenburg she'd sail. And everyone who knew her knew how quick she ran. She's the pride of Nova Scotia, with a place in history as the fastest saltbank schooner to ever sail the sea.
Nova Scotia, isn't that where the Bay of Fundy is? The Bay of Fundy holds the record, like every year, of having the greatest 24-hour tidal change height. I think it's like over 50 feet, where when the tide is in, it's up, and when it goes out, it drops like 50 feet. And even just getting in there is this uber challenge, because you have to catch it at just the right time to be able to get in or out. Otherwise, it sucks you in or put like whatever. I think I've got that right. Ed, you would know.
She's a tribute to our nation. May our country always be one Canada from sea to shining sea. From Gloucester in New England and from Boston came the claim to have the fastest ships to ever sail the sea. Their champion was the Elsie, a noble ship indeed, defender of America the free, and the International Fisherman's Trophy. In October 1921, the challenge had been made, and before the wind the Bluenose fell behind. But when she tacked to windward, she quickly gathered speed, and in victory she crossed the finish line, while the Elsie ran at least 3 miles behind.
Wow, how long was this race?
She's the pride of Nova Scotia, with a place in history as the fastest saltbank schooner to ever sail the sea. She's a tribute to our nation. May our country always be one Canada from sea to shining sea. Then the Yankees sent the Henry Ford, the Columbia, and T-Bode, defenders of America the free. And when each race had run its course, against the wind she rode, to glory and to claim the victory, as the fastest ship to ever sail the sea, and the keeper of the Fisherman's Trophy. Now the Bluenose has a daughter, Out of Lunenburg she sails, an ambassador from Canada is she.
It's her story.
And when the tall ships gather, she's the leader of the parade, a reminder of the way things used to be, the likes of which we never more will see.
Interesting. Picking up the tempo.
May the legend of the Bluenose sail on forevermore. Like the wind that blows forever may she be, a symbol to all nations of this land that I adore. Oh Canada, I pray you'll always be forever one in peace and unity.
I love the Canadian flag.
Like the legend of the Bluenose, strong and free. One Canada from sea to shining sea.
That was good stuff right there. I don't know when this was written. I love stories that tell history. I love stories that are fictional too, like in songs. I don't read fiction in books, but I only read nonfiction. But in songs, I love this kind of thing, the way it was done. It was like he would sing the first line, and then the backing vocalist would come in and sing with him on the second line. And that was basically the structure of the song. But when you could take just some bit of information from history that very few people would know about, and then make a song out of it, and make it compelling, and make it live. It's just such a cool art form. It's such, just to be able to pull that off. But I wonder how fast, Ed, you might even know offhand or be able to make a good guess how fast she would have gone. You know, I mean, to have won by 3 miles, not just in that race, but how fast can a 3-masted schooner go? And they called it like a salt bank schooner or something. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's just in salt water or, I mean, I guess the Great Lakes are fresh water. And so, yeah. And then, I mean, I had my boat. It was a power. It was a single engine IO. It was a V-hull. You know, it was a 28-foot Sundancer. And I had it across from Lower Manhattan. And that was brackish water. It was really salty though, because just basically a mile away was the Verrazano Bridge. And when you went under that, that started the Atlantic Ocean. And then when we would round Lower Manhattan and go up the East River, we would turn to starboard. We would turn right basically and maintain East River past Rikers Island, LaGuardia Airport, under the Throgs Neck and out into the Long Island Sound. And the Long Island Sound was saltwater. So we were surrounded by saltwater, but the Hudson River came down, and my marina was like right on just a little jetty off the Hudson. Now that's fresh water coming down. I mean, that water was brackish miles upriver. I mean, not all the way up to Albany, I don't think, but I mean, really far upriver. And that salt water is very hard on boats. Anybody, right, Ed? I mean, you know, you've got to clean those things. You've got to clean the cleats. You've got to clean anything that's got chrome, anything, the wood, whatever. You've got to keep finishing it. Fresh water is much easier on boats. It's much easier on the face, too, because there were times when the river's going out, the East River's going out to the ocean, and when the tide's coming in, underneath the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan bridges, which are on like the southern tip of Manhattan, you bury the bow. Like, it's amazing how it's beyond choppy. I mean, you're burying the bow. And if you're not paying attention, you bury the bow and that sprays water up. And right there, it is still salt water. And when salt water blasts you in the face, when you're not ready for it, it just hurts. It stings a lot more than fresh water does. Anyway, this was just a good song. Beautiful tribute to Canada. Of course, it's a pride of Canada type thing. And I'm not rating this thing because this is in honor of Canada. There was too much in it that made it that went beyond the story of a sailboat beating the four greatest American ships, evidently, and it beat them every time. And, kudos to the crew back in 1921. It was just beautiful. So hats off. Montauk Ed, a former commercial fisherman off the coast of Montauk. Kudos to the Canadians. And so this is a tribute to them on his behalf. And that is absolutely a legit tribute from Ed to our Canadian brothers and sisters. All right, guys, there you go. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.